Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Welcome to online class. Today we are going to have a lesson in civics, the role of constitution and the need for laws. Last session uh, we have seen about what is constitution, and in this session we are going to see the remaining part of the lesson. What is a constitution, children? Constitution is a body of rules, laws, and principles on the basis of which a state or a country is governed. And our Indian constitution is a written constitution, and it is the longest written constitution in the world. Today we are going to see the next part of the lesson, the need for laws in life. See, laws are integral to the functioning of a society. Laws are very important for the smooth functioning of a society. For example, we have laws in our school and we have laws in our society to be followed, and even in hospitals also we have some rules to be followed. In everywhere, wherever you go, there are rules to be followed. You can take an example of bank also. If you go to the bank, there are some formalities to be followed, some rules to be followed. So, laws are very essential for the smooth functioning of a society. And these laws are binding everyone in the community. And it protects us from the social evils also. And it guides us, these laws guides every citizen as what to do and what should not be done. For example, it acts as the codes of norms for the citizens in the society. That is, what are all the activities which are accepted in the society and which are not accepted in the society. That means what are all legal and what are all illegal. What should be done and what are all the activities should not be done in the society. And it protects us, these laws protects us from the discrimination of color, age, gender, all these things. Okay, so the laws are very essential for the smooth functioning of a society. Disobedience of the law will lead to punishment. And for example, you can say the traffic laws. These traffic laws help us to have a safe drive, isn't it? Same way, these laws ensures our rights, that is the right to freedom, freedom of speech, uh, freedom of press, right to education, and so on. So we need laws in our society for the smooth functioning of our society. And a lawless state would be a breeding ground for criminal activities and social events. What does it mean? Imagine there are no laws in the society. What would happen? The powerful would oppress the weaker section, isn't it? Suppose if there are no police stations or if there are no courts to punish any illegal activity, people will indulge in all sorts of criminal activities since they are not going to be punished in any way. Therefore, we need laws to protect us and ensure the overall safety and welfare of the people. Here, the effect of law is to bring order in the society. That is why we need laws to be followed in every society. And then, for example, in India, where certain social evils such as dowry, female infanticide, and child labor have existed for a long time. For example, I want to say about this dowry system. Dowry is a practice of giving gift or money or property to the bridegroom by the bride's family at the time of wedding. Sometimes the bride's family could not uh, provide all these things because of their inability. At that time, there would be a torture from the bridegroom's family to the bride, mental torture to the bride's family. So, to curb this practice, our government of India brought the Dowry Prohibition Act in 1961 to curb the practice of giving dowry or accepting dowry. So here, these laws have played an important role in curbing the practice of dowry. So whoever gets the dowry, if they are caught, they have to be prisoned for 5 years or they will be laid a fine amount. So by following this law, the government curbed the practice of dowry by passing the Dowry Prohibition Act in 1961. Here you can see, so we should say always no to dowry and we have to stop the practice of dowry. Here you can see the children engaged in the work. This is also prohibited by passing the Act of Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act in 1986. So this act curbed the practice of child labour in India. And next we move on to the Constitution as the primary source of all laws. So Constitution only provides guidelines for all the lawmakers and policy makers in our country. So all laws derive their legitimacy or authority from the Constitution. So when before uh, deriving any law, they have to follow the guidelines given in the Constitution. Uh, for example, any law that goes against the spirit of democracy as enshrined in the Constitution of India is declared unconstitutional. For example, suppose if the law goes against the principle of democracy, it would be null and void. It will not be treated as a law anymore. And in Indian constitution, the rule of law has been adopted under the preamble where the ideals of justice, liberty and equality are enshrined. Here enshrined means protected and preserved in the constitution. So the constitution is the framework within which the laws and rules are to be framed. And then what is rule of law? The rule of law means the Constitution of India upholds the rule of law. That is, everyone is equal before the law. Even if he is a prime minister or the chief minister, prime minister or the president are equal before the law. No one is above the law. That is, everyone are equal in front of law. A lawless state is a breeding ground for the criminal activities we have already seen. Here, the rule of law ensures that the country is not governed by political leaders but by the law. Here, the constitution protects the rights of citizens and limits the rights of government. For example, here it ensures that the country is not governed by the political leaders. That means the country is a public matter and it is not possessed by any individual leader. Sometimes the political leaders may use their power in a wrong way, that is, they may misuse their power. For example, they may act in favor of their close relatives or friends. So, here the constitution checks this and it is a punishable act as per the constitution. So, the rule of law is thus central to the smooth functioning of a democracy. So, the rule of law is very, very essential to the smooth functioning of a democracy. And then we will move on to the next subheading, law and dissent. When people strongly disagree with a law or a decision taken by the government and they give voice to this disagreement, it is known as dissent. Dissent here means disagreeing something which is against the larger interest of the society. In India, there have been many instances of people protesting against a law that appeared to threaten public interest. We can take an example of the Salt Satyagraha movement. Actually, the Salt Satyagraha movement was launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1930 as a mark of protest against the oppressive salt laws imposed by the British on Indians. Here, in order to collect more revenue from the people, British laid salt laws, that is, the manufacturing and selling of salt became the monopoly of the British. That is, they did not allow any individual, Indian individual, to make salt or to sell salt. Okay, they laid heavy taxes on that. That is why the people were against that, and Mahatma Gandhi was against this act. He launched the Salt Satyagraha movement, and along with Gandhiji, many followers had a march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi to protest against this salt law. So the salt laws made the manufacture and distribution of salt a monopoly of the British. So Gandhiji launched Satyagraha movement against these salt laws. On March 12, 1930, Gandhiji, along with his followers, marched from Sabarmati Ashram near Ahmedabad to the coastal village of Dandi. On 6th April 1930, he picked up a handful of salt. He made salt and picked up a handful of salt and symbolically broke the salt law. So, this is the practice of dissent against the law made by the British government. So, in democracy, we people also can can give our voice against some laws which are against the larger interest of the society. With here you can see the Dandi March made by Gandhiji and his followers. Here you can see he is picking up of some salt to show his disagreement with the salt law made by the British. So this shows that in India as a democracy, we people also can give our voice or give our opinion against any law which are not to the interest of our people. So by this, we end this session. We will meet in the next session, children. Thank you.